Brenton Sanderson joins us. He's taken plenty of advice off coaches over the years and seems to be working, Dwayne, because Adelaide are playing great footy. Welcome to you, Brenton, and congratulations. You're into your first grand final. We're not going to play it down this week. We're going to build it up.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. Thanks for having me on.
It was really exciting to see the way you played. I think you've got a contribution from everybody. You're moving the ball very quickly, and your defensive mechanisms look like they reminded me of somebody else.
Yeah, I think we've got really good balance at the moment. I mean, we kept Collingwood to 61 points, which is a fantastic effort against a great offensive side, but also too, against what we sort of would consider to be a great defensive side as well. We're able to score 138, so we had that good balance of attack and defence. But like you said, I think we've been really fortunate that we've got a full squad to pick from. We haven't got any injuries at the moment, so I think you're halfway there when you can actually put a really competitive side out on the park that's had a really solid pre-season.
You lobbied hard to get the grand final at home as well. You would have no doubt had a look at the West Coast on the box as opposed to going over to Patterson Stadium. What did you think of the West Coast on the box?
Yeah, they're very similar to us, I guess, where they've got a full squad to pick from. I think only really probably Lynch and Kennedy are out of their best sort of 22. They might be close to full strength this weekend, probably LaCroix, yeah, exactly. So they've been pretty impressive through the pre-season as well. But yeah, we did push pretty hard for the home final. I think we were, I guess, clearly the number one side through the first 4 weeks when you look at the sort of win and loss and the percentage. But we had to go up to Alice Springs and beat Brisbane up there, and then of course beat Collingwood to get the home final. But it's at the AFL's discretion, and we're very fortunate and thankful that they saw fit to host. For us to have the game here in Adelaide this weekend.
Yeah, well, the West Coast haven't had to travel outside of WA for the whole pre-season comp, so you had that in your favour. It's the first time they're going to be forced.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, Dwayne. The West Coast travel more than anybody.
I know. I'm telling you what the AFL's thinking.
I know what
I'm not telling you what
my
thinking is. I'm just telling you what the AFL's thinking was. How much of the 138 to 61 win over Collingwood, Brenton, was because you know Collingwood intimately, because you have an insight into what Nathan Buckley wanted to do as a coach and what they've been doing in recent times, and your work with Geelong so closely, trying to pick the eyes of Collingwood, and how much was it just your game plan and you're simply too good for them?
Actually, I spoke to Jerry before the game. I sort of feel like, and I think every coach does, you sort of feel like you know the right formula to beat certain sides, and whether you can put a really fit, competitive team out on the field's another question. But we took a stronger side than Collingwood into the game. Collingwood were missing probably 6 or 7 of their best players, and we were full strength. So, and particularly in the second half, we used more players than Collingwood. We subbed more players, and we brought more players on at half time. So we probably had the legs in the second half. And I mentioned to the players actually after the game and today that we shouldn't be seduced by the final score too much, because it was 8-0 in the last quarter. But I think we just had the run, and we had the guys that were able to come on and really contribute in that second half. And Collingwood took off doors and they took off cloak, and I think we shouldn't get too carried away with this time of year when you knock off those top sides. But at the same time, it's a really good confidence boost for the players who have had a couple of disappointing seasons, and it's great for them to string a few wins together.
Been impressed by Sam Jacobs. You pinched him from Carlton 12 months ago, and I think it's a really good indicator to me. I see it time and time again that the best way to recruit ruckman is when somebody else has done 2 or 3 years development.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, the good thing for Jacobs is that, I guess he was at Carlton where they had Cruiser and Warnock and Hampson, and it was probably sort of 4th in the depth chart when you looked at their ruck stocks, and Adelaide needed ruckman, and they went after him, and he quickly becomes our number 1 choice. So sometimes that's just how the footy world works, and the footy gods sometimes smile on you. And he was fantastic last season, and he hasn't missed a beat all summer, and his work in the pre-season competition so far has been exceptional. So, he'll have a tough test this week, though. Any time you've got to come up against Cox and Natanui, you're going to have your work cut out. But, he'll have some good support from Sean McKernan, who we've been pretty impressed with too so far.
Now, you've had a bit of an issue, I believe, with a senior player mucking up off the field. How are you going to deal with that first up?
That's a good question. I actually didn't know about that until this afternoon, but I think it might have been blown out of proportion a little bit. But no, we'll investigate it further. It's an unnecessary distraction leading into a NAB Cup final, but we'll have a look at that tonight and tomorrow and work out exactly what's happening, get all the information that we need, but hopefully it's nothing too serious when we can get on with playing footy.
Now, I haven't got the printout in front of me, so you're going to have to help me fill in the blanks for our listeners. The player involved?
Bernie Vince.
Bernie Vince, that's right. Now, he was alleged to have been sculling pots in just his boxer shorts. Is that fact or fiction?
Well, that's what we'll try and find out. I think what happened was we prohibited him from playing in his local team's cricket grand final, which did cause a bit of a stir over here because there was a bit of a consensus that we should let players continue with their, I guess, interests outside of footy and let them pursue their hobbies. But we sort of felt that it's footy season, it's time to knuckle down and prepare yourself as best you can for the start of the football season. But I think he might have gone up and watched the team play. They actually played in their 9th consecutive grand final victory, so he's a Stansbury boy, which is about 3 hours from Adelaide, and very close sort of family ties up there. And I think he's played in the last 8, so this is the first one he hasn't played in. But there's some allegations that he might have been carrying on a little bit with the team in their celebrations on the Sunday. So,
do you take into account previous indiscretions when you hand down a decision, or do you say clean slate from when I started and I'll deal with this one in isolation?
Oh, and I think you've got to go into the past as well and into the history, and it won't be my decision alone either. We've obviously got other coaches, and we've got a leadership group, and we've got management as well. So I won't be making any decision alone, but we'll get all the information, and we'll speak to Bernie tomorrow and make a decision, I guess, on that. But like I said, it's a distraction that we probably don't want in the week leading into a NAB Cup grand final, but we'll deal with that as a club tomorrow and hopefully go on and put it behind us and get on with trying to play footy.
Brenton, great to have a chat to you, and we look forward to speaking to you right throughout the season.
Pleasure, guys. Thanks for having me.
Brenton Sanderson, the coach of the Adelaide Crows, into his first as a coach grand final against the West Coast this Saturday night.